I must admit it's coming back into the, after a good summer break, feeling good. The weather after Christmas was fantastic, especially in the Wairarapa, and we're starting to dry off a bit over there, and the browning of the summer has started. The water restrictions are in place. We've got fire bans in place, as you would expect in those rural areas that start to dry up. So the world is returning to its normal cycles in a lot of ways. The rivers are also full of algae, so you can't take your dogs for a walk in a lot of places because it's quite toxic, and most people know that if they get a gobful, they'll get either very, very sick or quite possibly die. So, I mean, that seems reasonably negative, but there's been some amazing fruit started this season that you can get. Some really, really good stone fruit is starting to appear. And it just feels like maybe this is almost like the world as we once knew it. However, there was an election last year and things have changed. We have a new government and we're starting to see them do some things, which is great. It's probably the hardest landing I've ever seen of a new government. There was no honeymoon period. And the old media seems to struggle with the fact that we have a new government. And we do actually have a new MP who is really, really known for hitting the ground and doing the hard yards and talking to people and has a really, really acute understanding of what is needed in the Wairarapa and what are the key issues. So good morning, Mike Butterick.
Yeah, good morning, Tina. How are you?
I'm very good. We're just having some of those sort of New Year blues where the technology doesn't quite work the way we want it to sometimes.
Yeah, it's a bit dusty. It's had too much time off, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a beautiful day here in Wellington. What's it like over there?
Oh no, it's a pretty typical Wairarapa summer's day here, Tina. It's a gorgeous day. We've had a few of them just lately, quietly. So the big yellows come out. The big brown paintbrushes all over the hills now. So it's
yes,
it's been very hot.
Yeah. It sure has. And is it a normal sort of start to the summer? Is this a normal sort of a rollout for the farming sector?
Yeah, look, I guess, Tina, it's probably about as normal as Wairarapa ever gets. I mean, I would call it probably a very typical Wairarapa summer. It was a bit of a cold, late, wet start to the spring. But yeah, no, it's probably very, very normal now, which is probably got everyone a little bit focused on water and or the lack thereof. Yes,
so that's a really, really good question because when Masterton's grown so much, it's got another 5,000 people, I think, since we first arrived there probably 12 years ago. And so that puts another heap of pressure on all of the water systems for a town of that size. And we also have water storage issues, which is still sitting there. So where are we at, do you think, in the future for looking at water storage under a new government?
Yeah, look, you're right, Tina, and it's like we can either talk about this and procrastinate on it for another 30 or 40 years and we'll achieve nothing. I mean, we can't just keep talking about it. We've actually got to do it because it's not just domestic use, it's all the commercial use. There's a lot of big businesses that rely on water, and water's the key. Water's the key for our economy, it's the key for our jobs, and it's the key for growth. And we've just got to start accelerating. Doing something about it, and there's actually quite a group of people at the moment really focused on trying to move ahead with it, which is great.
Yes, I have heard I've more than heard some whispers. I realise that there's a few people starting to get together again on it, and I think one of the good things, because I have to declare an interest here, I was on the Wairarapa water board for a time before I stood for election and got onto council. So I have a reasonably clear understanding of the background of that. And one of the things I think that was really good that group did, that board, was that they ensured that all of the IP and all of the work that had been done on the dam was put in a repository so that if there was a change in government policy, it could literally be lifted out and we didn't lose, I think it was nearly $20 million worth of work. That we're way ahead of where you would normally be in a process to have a look at water storage, because we're sitting waiting ready for things to change. So it is good
Yep.
to hear that is one of those things that's possibly being looked at. In fact, I think I heard it. I kind of might have been someone from National or possibly even New Zealand First that said the Wairarapa Dam was definitely one of those things that they needed to revisit.
Yeah. And look, Tina, you've only got to look at all the modelled climatic extremes that's predicted to happen, and you just, a failure to plan is a plan to fail. We've just got to stop the talk fest and crack on and get something done.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's
Yep.
interesting because I've just not long come out of Southland, and there's two big things happening down there. There's $700 million going into a data centre down there, and it's about to kick off. And the other day there was an announcement that there's going to be some fibre laid from the south across to Australia, another humongous project. And so those are things that just don't happen overnight. They need some real direction and some clear thinking from people who understand regional development. And so what sort of vibes are you getting from the Wairarapa as, like, water is intrinsic, I think, and you just said that, that to any sort of economic development. But what other things are you hearing out there that people really want to crack on with too?
Yeah, look, it's just people are struggling, right? And it's, provincial area like this, it depends on how well the rural economy's going, and we're all intrinsically linked to each other as well.
Yep.
And I often talk, the rural economy is bigger than just the farmers. It's the people that actually contribute. It's your mechanics, it's your bankers, it's all those people to allow the cockies to grow what they grow, and it's all the people that add value to it as well. So, they're getting squeezed pretty hard at the moment, and they're under a lot of pressure. We can't do anything about the commodity.
No, and the price of lamb's literally the arse has dropped out of the price of lamb, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and there's a whole lot of reasons for that. And so, but what we can
what
do
are the
is,
reasons, Mike? I know there is some. It's a demand thing, but what else is happening?
Yeah. Well, Aussie's got a lot of lambs. They've been flooding the market with China. Yeah, so there's that as well. That has slowed down of late. There's obviously just the general cost of living pressures around the world. People are trading down in terms of what cut of meat they purchase.
Yep.
They're not going out as much. Just all those pressures are all aligning all at the same time. And look, it's pretty tough at the moment. But what we can control or have some control over, Tina, are the regulations, and also just to focus on getting inflation down, because that's really, really hurting not just the farmers, but anyone that's in business or anyone with any debt.